You know that feeling when you trust someone with your whole heart, only to have them shatter it into a million pieces? Well, that's my story. It all started with Paige. We were that couple, the one everyone envied. We shared everything, from our deepest secrets to our dreams for the future. Or so I thought. My world came crashing down at what was supposed to be a celebration, my promotion party. I was on top of the world, ready to share the good news with the love of my life. But when I went to find her, I found her with him. Noah, my high school rival, the guy who'd made my life a living nightmare for years. They were in a quiet corner of the garden, lost in their own world. The way he looked at her, the way she smiled back, it was a punch to the gut. I didn't make a scene. I just turned around and walked away, my heart heavy with a pain I'd never felt before. The next day, Paige came to me, her eyes filled with fake tears. She told me she was breaking up with me, that she'd fallen out of love. She'd never mentioned Noah. Not once. She painted this picture of us just drifting apart, as if our entire relationship was nothing more than a passing phase. And the worst part? She made it sound like it was my fault. I could have confronted her. I could have screamed, shouted, and shown her the photo I'd secretly taken of her and Noah. But what good would that have done? She had already made her choice. So I just nodded. I let her believe her own lies. I let her think she'd gotten away with it, that I was just this clueless guy she could easily discard. It was the hardest thing I've ever had to do, to just stand there and let her walk away, leaving me with the wreckage of our love. Days turned into weeks, and the silence was deafening. Our mutual friends kept asking what happened. Paige had spun them a tale about how I became distant, how I wasn't the man she fell in love with anymore. She was the victim, and I was the cold, unfeeling boyfriend who let the spark die. Noah, of course, played the part of the supportive friend, swooping in to comfort her. They started appearing in public together, first subtly, then more openly. Everyone saw it as this beautiful new romance blossoming from the ashes of her failed relationship with me. It was a perfectly crafted narrative, and I was the villain. It was infuriating. I wanted to expose them, to tell everyone the truth. But then I realized something. Their entire relationship was built on a foundation of deceit. They lied to me, they lied to our friends, and they were probably lying to each other. What kind of future could they possibly build on that? I decided to let them have their little fantasy world. Let them believe they were the star-crossed lovers who found each other against all odds. Let them think I was the fool who didn't see it coming. So I focused on myself. I hit the gym, poured all my energy into my new role at work, and reconnected with old friends. I started rebuilding my life, piece by piece. I wasn't going to let their betrayal define me. Meanwhile, I'd hear things. Whispers about Paige and Noah. They were always together, posting these perfect, happy photos online. It was like they were desperately trying to prove to the world, and maybe to themselves, that their love was real. The first crack in their perfect facade appeared a few months later. A friend told me they had a huge public argument. Apparently Noah was getting jealous and controlling. He was insecure, constantly questioning Paige about her past with me. That was ironic, wasn't it? The foundation of lies they built their relationship on was starting to crumble. Paige had sold him a story about how I was the problem, but now she was realizing that the real problem was the person she was with. I didn't feel happy about it, not exactly. It was more like a quiet sense of validation. I knew their happiness was a performance, a carefully staged play for everyone to see. Real relationships aren't built on secrets and betrayal. They're built on trust, honesty, and respect, through things they knew nothing about. I kept my distance, just observing from afar. Our social media posts became less frequent. The gushing captions were replaced by simple emojis. Friends mentioned that Paige seemed stressed, that the radiant smile she always wore was gone. She had traded a genuine connection for a thrilling deception, and now she was paying the price. Noah, the supposed savior, was turning out to be her new nightmare. He cheated on her, just like she had cheated on me with him. Poetic justice, I guess. When the news of their breakup finally reached me, I wasn't surprised. A relationship that starts with betrayal is almost always destined to end in it. Paige tried to reach out to me. She sent me a long, rambling text message full of apologies and regrets. She said she'd made the biggest mistake of her life. She admitted everything, the lies, the affair with Noah, all of it. She wanted to meet, to talk, to see if we could start over. I read the message, and for a moment I felt a twinge of the old affection I once had for her. But then I remembered the pain, the humiliation, the nights I spent questioning my own worth. I remembered the girl who looked me in the eye and lied without flinching. I typed back a simple response. I hope you find the happiness you're looking for. Goodbye, Paige. I didn't need to say anything more. I didn't need revenge or an I told you so moment. Letting them live in their manufactured reality was the best thing I could have done. They exposed themselves. Their lies couldn't sustain them. My peace came not from their downfall, but from my own rise. I chose to walk away, to heal, and to build a life based on truth. And that was a victory far sweeter than any revenge. They thought they were rewriting our story, but in the end, they only wrote their own tragic ending. I'm moving on, and for the first time in a long time, the future looks bright.